Good day, panelists. I am Jason Atos, and today I will be doing my teaching demonstration on the subject Technology for Teaching and Learning 1. Good day, everyone. Before we move on our topic for today, what is our topic last meeting? Okay, very good. It's about the FITT principle. So, for today's lesson, I will be discussing the different events, facilities, and equipments used in athletics or track and field. We will start the discussion by knowing its background. Track and fields, or commonly known as athletics, is a collection of sports events that involves running, throwing, and jumping. The name athletics is derived from the Greek word athlos, which means contest. Dating back to the ancient Greeks, athletics were the only competition to be held in the first Olympic Games, which took place in Athens in 776 BC. At that time, the single athletics event was known as the stave, a foot race which covered the length of the Athenian Olympic Stadium. In 1896, the first modern Olympics Games were staged. Although initially of limited appeal, the Olympics captured the imaginations of athletes and grew steadily, making the track and field an international sport for the first time. In 1913, the International Amateur Athletics Federation, or so-called IAAF, was formed by representatives from 16 countries. The IAAF was changed with establishing standard rules for the sports, approving world records, and ensuring that the amateur code was adhered to continue and to carry out these duties today. So, let's talk about track events. Track events often involve a field of running track of varying measurements. These events are typically held in a 400-meter track. This includes sprints, middle distance, long distance, relays, road running, and race walking. So, we will discuss those kinds of events. First is the sprints or short distance. Sprints is a short running race. In a track and field competition, there are generally three different distances, which is the 100-meter, 200-meter, and the 400-meter dash. Wherein in middle distance are 800 meter, 1,500 meter, and 3,000 meter, wherein these races require different skills and tactics to win. They rely more on endurance and pacing than just pure speed. Also, the runners don't stay in a single lane for the entire race. They start out in staggered lanes to make the distance the same for each runner. But the race soon becomes open with no lanes, and the runners must pass around each other to gain the lead. The next one is the long distance event. These three main long distance races are 3,500 meter, 5,000 meter, and 10,000 meter race. These races are similar to the middle distance races, but the emphasis is even more on correct pacing and endurance. And the next one is the hurdles. A hurdles race is one in which obstacles are placed at intervals along the track that the runners must jump over their way to the finish line. Typically, hurdle races are the 100 meter and 400 meter for women, and 110 meters and 400 meter for men. Timing, footwork, and technique are the key in winning these hurdle events. Of course, you still need to be fast, but jumping the hurdles and stride without much slowing down is how to win in the hurdles. So, the next one is the relay races. Relay races are where teams of runners compete against each other. There are typically four runners and four legs to the race. The first runner must starts with the baton and runs to the first leg, handing off to the second runner. The handoff must typically take place within a given area of the track. The second runner then hands off to the third, and the third runner to the fourth. The fourth runners or the final or the anchor will leg to the finish. Common relay races are indeed for 4 by 100 meter and 4 by 4 meter. And lastly is the throwing event. There are four standards of throwing events: shot put, discus, hammer throw, and javelin throw. All involve the use of various implements and weights and shape that hurl for distance. Furthermore, let's talk about the facilities and equipment used in track and field. So, let's start with the baton. Batons are used by track athletes who run in relay events. Batons are usually made of aluminum but can also be plastic. For practices, any baton will work, but for races, batons are color-coded per team and have to be made of aluminum. The next one is crossbar. Crossbar is the horizontal part of high jump or pole you jump over. The standard crossbar is 13 feet and 1.5 inches long. The high jump has been included in the Olympic since the very first game in 1896. So, next one is hurdles. Hurdles are the physical piece of equipment that athletes have to jump over to complete a race. Hurdles are made of metals on the bottom and a wooden or fiberglass on top. The hurdle are destined to be the bottom heavy so that they will fall over at the even lightest touch. Old hurdles designed in a T shape, not like the modern shape is L. And when they fall, they would rise up and be more likely to trip you. For most hurdle races, there will be 10 hurdles. The next one is measuring tapes. Measuring tapes can be used for a lot of things in the track and field. You can use to take measure and to mark a distance of a race, or to spread out the starting blocks. Also, using measuring tape to determine the distance of throw from the throwing event. So, the next one is the discus plate. This is the most important piece of equipment needed for discus thrower. The discus cannot weigh less than 2 kilograms or 4.4 pounds for men. For women, it is 1 kilograms or 2.2 pounds. The discus is traditionally made from wood and metal around the outside, but others are made from fiberglass. Surprisingly, the style has changed very little over thousands of years. Next one is the javelin. Javelin are the main tool for another throwing event, wherein a javelin is basically long spear that you can throw as far as you can. Javelin has been around since the ancient Greek Olympics. The javelin is made of wood or lightweight metal and has a tip so it will stick in the ground. Modern javelin will usually have a soft material grip so that it will help you to throw. To be legal for the competition, the javelin has to be at least 102 inches long and weigh at least 1.8 pounds for men and And for women, a javelin must be 86 inches and 1.3 pounds. So, the next one is the shot put. A shot put is essentially just a heavy ball that people throw from their shoulder as far as they can. In the Olympics, the rules and regulation wherein the shot put must be 16 pounds for men and 8.8 pounds for women. However, shot puts comes in all kinds of weight of practices. They usually made of steel or another dense metal. The next one is spikes. Spikes are a part of track shoes that help the traction no matter the event that you are in. Certain spikes are for short distance running while others are for long. There are also spikes for the long jump and high jump. There are two types of spikes, the needle and pyramid. They get their name from the shape of the spikes, but you have to buy spike shoes separately from the track shoes. However, metal spikes comes in a bag of anywhere from 10 to 30 spikes. So, the next one is the starting blocks. Starting blocks are important if you want to be a short distance track runner. Races that span 800 and above don't use starting blocks. But runners in the 100, 200, and 400 meter races use starting blocks. The starting blocks help you to push off more easily to get running at a top speed and more quickly. But for practices and for personal use, you can also use a set of block. It is good to have them for personal best. And lastly is the stopwatch. These are important because they allow you to accurately capture how fast you run. Most stopwatch are small and digital with buttons to start, stop, and reset the watch. There are more high-tech stopwatches for race officials that comes with a printer or to print the time of runners while the clock is running. And stopwatch is also important so that it can help your players to improve in running. So class, did you understand our topic for today? Okay then, bring out 1/4 sheet of paper and answer the following given on the presentation. I'll give you 15 minutes to finish it. Okay class, pass your paper in front. And lastly, before we end our lessons, please copy the given activities on the presentation and pass it tomorrow. So class, that is our topic for today. Thank you and goodbye.